What I think we did two things on the show, I think. One is there are a lot of shows that have entertained kids very well, a lot of shows that have educated kids very well. I would submit that Wonderama was the show that listened to kids better than any other show. We don't do that anymore. We don't listen to each other even. And we have no time anymore for the spaces in which listening can happen. There are no, we suck the air out from between words now. We don't want anybody to have a second of silence for fear that with all the thing in your hand, you can go click and you're somewhere else. So we can't give you a moment to have a breath. At least in those days, and with the time I had, we could listen to each other and listen to kids. The other thing is, I think it was giving the kids a sense of their own value. We respected them so that they would be able to respect themselves. They sensed from me that I always wore ties and suits on the show, not just the way I am now to do the kids show. And all these years later, when people come back to me and say, "Oh, watch your show," you always wore a suit. Somehow they picked up that sartorial situation as a comment on my respect for them. So there were a lot of things that happened along the way that made it mutually beneficial to be with each other, and I loved the interior lives of kids. Kids have such a rich interior life. Any of you have children, grandchildren, just remember that. Take time to sort of listen to them, because you'll be startled what's going on inside those little heads.
Before you get to me, I just got to say those were two of the most inspiring stories I've ever heard in my life. Phenomenal. Isn't that phenomenal? And the story about being in a German prison camp and what you took from it, never surrender, that I've learned something today. That's all I can say.
Now read the entire book.
No.
Because it also...
Well, I don't want to go overboard.
It also shows you how to fail, which I did many times too.